Today, we're talking about wedding trends. Infamous. Please don't be one of those people who's like, my wedding dress code is cowboy chic, ocean banana front. I'm a little bit more stressed taking your ring at the end of the night once you've been drinking. Let us not forget, do whatever the you want to do for your wedding. So we're going to talk about trends that I think are hot, some of the things that I think are going to overflow, and maybe a couple of tips and tricks on how to execute on them if that's something that you're interested in. Weddings with Laur. Okay, cool.
Okay, let's go.
Gen Z wedding trends. Love them or hate them? I'm part of Gen Z. These are 3 wedding trends that I think that we're going to see really enforced in 2025. The first one is messy details. We all know those perfect, I don't know, you might not know, but we all know those perfectly curated detail shot where you see your stationery and you got your flowers next to it and you got your jewelry and all of those things. If you love stationery like me, okay, I am a 60 GSM paperweight in my heart, okay? If you love that, you love these shots. Most people don't care about those shots. They're important, but they're more important to some people and less important to other people. For the people that they're not important to, or what I'm starting to see more and more of, is that people want kind of these messy details. They, instead of the perfectly staged photo, they want the shoes thrown on the floor with the rings tossed beside it and some ribbon that looks like it's casually fallen. Those, yes, they look messy in the photos. Those are still very curated. Let me just tell you, when someone's like, oh, this is my vision, I'm like, cool. Let me grab those shoes. Let me grab the rings. Let me grab the veil. You still have to set them up to look messy. But that's more of what people are doing. Or they're taking their details instead of that's what you start your day with. That is what your media team is ending their day with. So you're on the dance floor. They're grabbing your rings. They're grabbing some cake. They're grabbing some menus and things like that and kind of putting them all together and taking those photos there at the end. It's not less work. Not at all. From a media perspective, not less work at all. Honestly, I'm a little bit more stressed taking your ring at the end of the night once you've been drinking than taking your ring early in the morning where you're just sitting there and getting your makeup done. But the vibes are different. And so I think what we're seeing with Gen Z is that they really want things to look messy. They want things to look oh, I just happened to get married today. It was just casual and that all of this happened, even though everything's very much still curated. The next thing is creative wedding dress codes. So the idea of a dress code is not new. One could argue I am the queen of the wedding dress code, specifically the wedding guest dress code. I have self-appointed myself that title. Dress codes are always a hot topic, okay? There are Reddit boards, there are blogs. What to and what not to wear to a wedding is always interested. People are always talking about it. We all know that we have group chats that you're can I wear this to a wedding? Can I not? What do you think about this? Da-da-da-da. So what we're really seeing coming up now is more creative wedding dress codes, and not creative in the sense of please don't be one of those people who's my wedding dress code is cowboy chic, ocean banana front.
A super specific niche dress code is rude to your guests.
It's not like that, but more in the sense of people saying, I want everyone to be in all black tie. Or the dress code palette is neutral. So I want people in browns, creams, and greens. Especially with the amount that weddings are costing these days, and that people have a vibe, they have an aesthetic, and they want their guests to be a part of that. From a media perspective, it looks incredible. It looks absolutely insane. It looks put together. If you want a simple way to elevate your wedding, if you want a simple way to make it look a little bit more expensive than it is, implement a dress code and have people follow the same, because then they're blending into the decorations, into the surroundings. All of those things are together. Looks insane. So yeah, we're going to see a lot more of that. We have already started seeing it. I think we're going to continue to see more and more of that. And the third one of this one is really hot right now, but I just predict that it will continue to be around for a much longer time, is film photography. This is something that we are seeing more and more of, whether it's film photography from your actual photographer, whether it's Super 8 from your videographer, whether it's camcorder from your wedding content creator, or just disposable cameras or things like that. Honestly, when you go to Pinterest and you type in wedding photo inspiration, half of those photos that you're looking at are film. So this is something that I'm even seeing photographers start to offer more and more in their packaging. It's something that I think we're just going to see more people of. And I think that kind of style, that feel, is people are being really drawn to that right now. And we'll just continue to see that play out. These were things that were hot in 2024 that we're going to continue to see in 2025. Okay, it actually pains me to say wedding content creators. I know it's boring. I know that's what I am. And guess what? Wedding content creators are not a trend. Because like when I started, there was nobody. Now we have over 400, over 500 people who are wedding content creators.
Spend the day with me as a wedding day content creator.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. I'm a wedding content creator.
Good morning. Let's get ready for a wedding together.
This is a full industry, but I do think that kind of the idea of wedding content itself is something that we're going to continue to see of. And I also think we're going to see couples be more invested in like what that process looked like. Definitely for the first couple of years, we were getting booked instead of videographers. You know, people were booking us because they were like, oh, this is a cheaper alternative to videography.
If you are a bride-to-be and you're trying to save money, this is probably one of the best tips I have for you. I'm not going to be having a wedding videographer. I'm going to be having a wedding content creator.
Or people were booking because they're like, I don't necessarily want, you know, a produced video. Like I kind of just want these BTS moments. I think now, like with the advent of social media, like we're seeing people who are hiring wedding content creators because they have a specific vision, because there's a specific kind of, they want to be involved in like what that content looks like. Something that we do all the time is we like to call it roaming reporter, and we'll go around and we'll interview your guests during the middle of your wedding. It's fun. We can cut it into a really fun video and put it there. But I think just like the idea of just behind the scenes, like is something that we're seeing couples shy away from, and we're seeing more people get kind of more active and like, I want to make sure I get this, and this out of my wedding day, which like, again, I get it. I live for it. I love it. One that has surprised me the most, and one that I'm also very happy, just personally as a vendor, are really unique food experiences. Wedding cocktail hours, I think, are actually one of the most important parts of a wedding day that people kind of brush under the rug, or that they're just kind of like, oh, it's just this little filler thing. No, your cocktail hour, so important. One thing that we're continuing to see are just like these unique food experiences, whether it's like having live pizza trucks on site, oyster shuckers, magicians during your cocktail, like anything that can, like, we did this one wedding this year where they had a custom martini bar, and they had 3 different martinis, an espresso martini and a French 75. That's not a martini, but it's like something with gin in it or whatever. Anyway, and then they had a massive ice luge, and they like put the drink through the ice luge to like come out on your martini. It just was like so cool. In the past, the idea of a cake cutting, and even like when we got married in 2022, it was like, oh, the cake cutting, we don't do it. Like, don't get it. Like, people are doing dessert bars, and people are doing a cake cutting, what they call in the industry a silent cake cutting, where they bring the cake out, the bride and the groom cut the cake, but no one watches it. They don't make it a big deal. What we're seeing, and I mean, I saw this in weddings this year, is that like the cake cutting is now becoming a thing again. Like, people are having these 3, 4 tier cakes, and what's happening is like we're seeing people like make it a big deal, where it's like, come around. People are choosing songs to cut their cake to. Again, everything in weddings is like a pendulum swinging back and forth of like what's hot, what's not, what's in, what's not, what do I want, what do I not want. But yeah, so I just think that's like been, I think, a little bit more interesting, and we're seeing it even in little things like, it was hot a couple of years ago to change your dress multiple times. Now it's not. Like, we're just seeing these things kind of go back and forth. And so I'll be really interested to see how it is. For 2025 weddings, we're excited. A little sneak peek, a little fun. We're doing a couple weddings in Europe this year, which is always fun. We're headed to South America. We are all over the continental United States, and we're getting to do some more fun things in New York. So I'm personally excited because I feel like the 2025 weddings, at least that we are working, are ones that are very intention filled. And so I am, as a storyteller and as someone who cares about being able to tell really beautiful stories through content, and also like really fun, and like also like let's make some viral content. That's it. I'm seeing Wicked today. I'm so excited. Yeah. This is like not even related to weddings at all, but we have had shitty Broadway seasons for the past 2 years of like new shows coming in, new people. We've had good one-off shows, but kind of like shitty overall season. This next year, incredible. This next season, like, I want to go see Romeo and Juliet, already on my list. Death Becomes Her, already got tickets, didn't tell you about that. Othello, we're going to go see. Like, I'm just so excited about this next season of Broadway. And Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth both have one-woman shows that are, I don't know if they're coming to Broadway. One of them's in the West End, I think. Anyway, that's also what's happening in 2025.
Can I shut you off?